Hey, Neil McDonnell here. For those of you who've been following along the journey for 𝗟𝗂𝗂𝗃, I apologize. I took 10 days off. I'm coming back. I'm getting started again with the videos. In fact, today is February 1st, and I'm going to record a bunch of separate videos. That way, if people come along afterwards and they're kind of doing the 365 journey, I've got different things each day instead of one really long video. But in today's video, I just want to give you a quick update on why I took a pause, which is totally normal when we're trying to build a business, and then get myself set. So I got a whole bunch of videos I want to record right now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Neil McDonnell. I'm the president of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, co-founder of GovCon in a Box. And I spent 20 years as a small business owner in the federal space. And since 2018, I've been teaching people that government contracting is not a secret, it's just a process. So on January 1st, I started a company called 𝗟𝗂𝗂𝗃. My wife's name is Nancy. And I wanted to start a company and show you how I could follow my own process, the process I've been teaching for the last 8 years or so, and build a $1 million company, a company with $1 million annual recurring revenue by December 31st, 2025. So in 1 year, here's exactly not what I would do, but what I am doing to build that company so that you can see the processes there. The other thing is I like to say that I'm known by a ton of people, and the amount of people I'm known by is like a fraction of how many people I could be known by, right? But I have a huge network, and I recognize that. And so 𝗟𝗂𝗂𝗃, I'm building in the blind, where for the most part, I'm not going to use my network. And when I do phone calls and I'll show you this as we go along, but when I do meetings and other stuff, I'm going to have somebody else do it. I'm going to ask Nancy to do some calls. And, I'll grab some other people. But my point is to show you how I could build it if I was you, not how I could build it if I was me. Because frankly, 30 years in the federal market space, I could literally walk into most doors, but you can't. And so I'm trying to show you how to build a business as if I was you. Okay, so the rest of this video, I just want to give a quick update to those people who enjoy this journey and been kind of coming along. It's like, hey, where the heck have you been, Neil? I'll tell you what happened. So not last weekend, and I'm trying to get my weekends together, but 2 weekends ago, so whatever that was, but it was probably close around the 21st, 2 weeks ago on a weekend, I think the weekend before the 23rd and the 24th of January, a friend of mine reached out. He runs the Defense Leadership Forum, and he has a Defense Outlook Summit that was happening on the 23rd and 24th of January. And this is a great summit. It brings together leaders from DOD and some from industry. And for 2 days, they're talking about where is DOD going in 2025? Where's the money going to be spent, et cetera. And so anyways, he reached out and he said, hey, we lost our moderator. Could you come in and moderate the entire event? And I was like, sure. I want to be able to help him. I went to his event when I was a government contractor. That's how long he's been doing these events, that I used to go to them to network or meet people or whatever. And so anyways, I said, sure. And then that was only a couple of days, and the schedule was still bouncing around because that was the exact same week that the Trump administration, or President Trump, was inaugurated and the Trump administration kicked off. And Tuesday, the 20th, I think, was like 30 or 40 or 50 executive orders, and they're just coming out. And so we were trying to prepare a lot for that. Anyway, so I went, you know what, let me just go heads down and do a good job for him. And then it got kind of worse because the weather in that week got bad. And a couple of things happened. One is a big snowstorm type stuff in the South prevented people coming in from Florida. So we lost 1 hour's worth of people who were all coming out of Florida. So I had to step in and fill that in. And then also my friend Bill, who runs this thing, wasn't able to be there, right? I was just going to be kind of the moderator moving it forward. And then he wasn't going to be there. And I was like, so I got to step up. Anyways, point is, I wanted to do a good job for Bill and his colleagues at the Defense Leadership Forum. So I just went heads down on that and shut off. And as I was doing that, I just kind of kept that momentum into last week. And this is why I haven't shown up in the last week as well, is I went, you know what? I've got one thing that if I can just get it done, it's going to make my entire 2025 easier, and a whole bunch of stuff unnecessary. And I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about that, but you really need to know what that is. And I went, you know what, as long as I've been offline for a little bit, I canceled every regular meeting I had last week, this week, and I'm probably going to do again next week. Just everybody, my customers, my colleagues. I'm like, look, I'm offline. I'm here if you really need me, just ping me. Otherwise, I'm not going into any regular meeting. I'm going heads down on this one thing that I want to do. And I won't tell you what it is here because it's related, but I don't want to blend it in here. But anyway, so it's heads down on that. For about the last 3 or 4 days, I've been like, hey, I got to get back to YouTube and do the videos. And it took me that long to get back. I just watched actually a movie called Deepwater Horizon, I think it is, about an oil platform that had like blew up on out in the Gulf of Mexico. And it was just this horrible kind of thing. But the heroics that were in there, I'm like, I quit watching Netflix. Let's go do those videos again. So I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. The reason I want to do the next few videos, I'm going to drop them all today on Saturday, the 1st of February. The reason I want to drop them all, though, in separately is, first off, so there's not one long one, but also I can drop them as different topics. An example is, since the last time we talked, my EIN is in. And so now I can go into SAM. I can talk about a bank account, and I can talk about the capability statement and some of these other things. So I'm going to accelerate fairly fast through Saturday here and catch back up. One last thing maybe I'll say to you is that if you're tracking along on this journey and you're doing it yourself, I think I literally have only worked 10, maybe 15 absolute max hours on 𝗟𝗟 so far. So even as I'm coming back in, I'll probably work 3-4 hours to catch up today on this. And you're talking about less than 20 hours to get a company stood up and to understand what I'm selling, who's buying it, have my EIN, get into SAM, some of these other things. So I really want you to understand that if you move with a sense of urgency and get rid of all the distractions, right? There's all sorts of distractions that can be out there. And if I'm not telling you you should think about doing it, then it's a distraction. But the amount of time I'm spending is pretty minimal. You could just triple or quadruple the amount of time, and that'd be reasonable easily for you. But it's still only 80 hours inside of a month, right? And if you're starting a brand new company, that should be fine. What else are you doing? If you got a kind of a day job, if you will, still don't watch TV, hang out with your family, forget about your friends for now, hang out with your family, put that time in, and then spend minimum 2 or 3 hours a day, and you'll be doing it at basically the same speed as I am. And you just do it at 9 o'clock at night or something. All right, that's enough for this video. I will see you in the next one.